Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Gaynor.
Okay, we are two of us.
Yes.
If Patreon's your thing, check out the link in the description below. Loads of stuff on there, all exclusive to Patreon. Support the channel starts at just $3 a month and you get absolutely loads of stuff. Started doing the receiver. We finished the quarterback, that's on there as well. Yeah. So there's absolutely loads of stuff on there, so go and check it out.
Yes.
How America's largest, most secure embassy works. Where do you think the largest embassy, American embassy, would be?
Russia?
No, I wouldn't have thought it'd be Russia. I thought America's largest embassy might be somewhere in the Middle East.
You do?
Maybe Kuwait. But I don't think, it's not that big of a country, Kuwait. It's only very small, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd guess at the Middle East.
I picked somewhere because
Saudi.
A big country.
Saudi, could be. Somewhere like, or North Africa.
Right.
Could be somewhere like Egypt, somewhere like that. Let's see anyway. America's largest, most secure embassy works.
This is the United States' third largest embassy. This will be the second once it's finished. And here's number one. Weighing in at a staggering 106 acres, the United States' embassy in Baghdad is the largest embassy in the world. It's not really comparable in size to any other embassy, but to give you a sense of scale, it's almost the exact size of Disney World's Magic Kingdom. But that's where the comparison ends. After all, the Magic Kingdom is a sprawling monument to American power, insulated from the violence and instability of its sweltering hot region by literal and metaphorical walls of money, security, and latitude to self-govern. While the Baghdad...
We were right about the Middle East.
Yeah.
I think it's just strategically located.
Right.
So I think, but I wonder, I used to work for a company where when we used to get posted around the world, there was different things, and you used to look for certain jobs and thinking, right, I know a certain country's going to come up soon.
Yeah. I
wonder if consulates and people like that and ambassadors and stuff look at stuff and think, America, I don't know, that could be it. I know it's in Baghdad in Iraq, but it could be one of the most senior posting. God, it's like, you think it's massive, it's huge.
Yeah.
You'd be right in the centre of everything there, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm guessing you don't leave, you just stay in there.
No, it's got everything on. It's got everything on the campus, hasn't it? Sort of thing.
Baghdad embassy compound is the same, but without Space Mountain, so fundamentally different. When the US invaded Iraq in 2003, they set up a temporary embassy in Baghdad's Republican Palace, but they immediately dreamed bigger. In October 2004, Iraq's interim government gave the Americans this sweet chunk of real estate on the banks of the Tigris River, and they got to work designing and building the beast of a thing that sits there today. It was designed by Kansas City-based architecture firm Berger Divine Jaeger, coincidentally also my pub order, and built mostly by First Kuwaiti General Trading and Contracting because, due to the profound trust the United States government has in the Iraqi people, there was a rule that no Iraqis could be contracted to build the embassy, for security reasons, so the Kuwaiti company brought in workers from places like Nepal and Bangladesh to do the job. The most secure part, the offices diplomats actually work in day to day, were built by 5 American contractors alongside 1 Kuwaiti one. The whole endeavor, which was originally supposed to cost $592 million, ended up costing a cool $736 million, nearly twice what it cost to build the Magic Kingdom, which again has Space Mountain. I just don't know how you spend $736 million on a place and don't give it a Space Mountain. But in fairness, they did give it a sort of unbelievable amount of other stuff. For starters, 6 apartment buildings featuring bulletproof glass windows for the thousands of people who would be living and working there, big residences for the ambassador and their deputy, 2 office buildings for working, a food court featuring, I'm told, a wide variety of cuisine options, and, I'm told, a cookie bar where, I'm told, all the food is free. All the food is also, fun fact, delivered by armored cars from Kuwait, because if there's one thing Americans in Iraq are gonna do apparently, it's get stuff from Kuwait. There's also a, quote, American club, whatever that means, a vehicle repair shop, a department store, a salon, a movie theater, and a fully equipped gym alongside an Olympic-sized swimming pool, tennis courts, and a soccer field with an irrigation system to keep it alive in the desert. And this doesn't matter, but it came up in a report I was reading and I just had to tell you, for some reason they were stocking 3,568 toner cartridges collectively valued at about $704,000. I guess I don't know how much toner is normal for an office to have because my job is, well, this, but that's too much, right? Also, the streets have quaint American names like Broadway and Main Streets. Main Street. Remind you of anything? The embassy stands in stark contrast to much of the rest of Baghdad, which got ranked second to last on an annual quality of life survey in 2023, which was actually kind of big because that same survey...
Living in a
Compound.
yeah, but not necessarily a compound. Living in an embassy is very, very different because you're living in that's your country.
Yeah.
So that embassy now belongs to the USA. You're on US soil in that embassy.
The rules are the
So
same.
the rules are the same as the USA.
Yeah.
So all that food court will all be things like McDonald's, Subway, Arby's.
Yeah.
Things like that. The
Yeah.
In-N-Out burgers or whatever, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but Applebee's.
Yeah, there'd be all kinds of stuff like that. It'd be very American.
Yeah.
You know.
Usually puts them dead last. They only slid up in 2023 because Khartoum was, and at the time of writing still is, an active war zone. Water shortages, poverty, violence, and I wouldn't rank this as the same level of issue, but it sure did come up a lot in research, really bad traffic, make Baghdad a challenging place to live. The State Department, for their part, wanted to make sure American diplomats didn't deal with these problems and didn't want Iraq's government to control their access to resources, so they went ahead and made sure their city within a city was self-sustaining and fortified against the rest of Baghdad. Naturally, not everyone in Baghdad finds this super cool and awesome, but if there's one thing the United States doesn't super worry about, it's what the people of Baghdad would find super cool and awesome. What do we worry about?
Guy threw
Keeping that
shit.
soccer field green, baby. As I said, there's irrigation for the soccer field, and actually, the embassy compound's whole water system, from wells to treatment to wastewater, is independent of the rest of Baghdad's. They also handle municipal services like fire, mail, and sewage in-house. They have their own internet uplink and telephone center with Virginia area codes, though if you use the embassy's cell network, it'll give you a New York number. They also have 30 contractors devoted to their 10-generator power plant, which runs on about $21 million of diesel fuel a year. Some, i.e. the Inspector General, have noted that maybe the embassy could stand to run on the local electricity utility like all the other embassies in the area, which would cost 9 cents per kilowatt hour instead of 35, thus saving millions of dollars per year. So maybe they'll switch over, or maybe they'll keep setting money on fire to be special or independent. I don't know, this embassy is about 16 years old. You'll do anything to be special and independent at 16 years old. In all, the compound is home to 21, quote, bomb-resistant buildings, built to 2.5 times whatever the standard level of reinforcement is. Around all this stands a 9+ foot, or 3+ meter perimeter wall made of reinforced concrete with razor wire on top. They've also got security cameras everywhere, and as of 2007, they were adding 151 duck and cover bunkers around the place. The senior staff of the compound have daily security meetings to assess any threats they might be facing, and frequently run emergency drills across the entire embassy. Though, hopefully the diplomats and civilians in there would be fine in a breach since their security guards are the literal Marines. If, for whatever reason, you opt to exit and re-enter the embassy, there are just 5 places to do so, plus an additional 6th for use in emergencies. Each entrance features a big gate and a heavily fortified reception building for people to come through, or, in the case of a breach, to take about $20 million of damage in exchange for buying the Marines inside about 30 minutes to prepare their defenses. But ground entrances, obviously, are for normies. Anyone cool is going to use the 3 helipads. Yeah, the security apparatus around Americans who work in Baghdad isn't just limited to the confines of the embassy.
I thought there'd be a no-fly zone,
Yeah.
sort of like around there
I was
for
gonna
any
say-
kind of flight other than authorised military aircraft.
I was going to say, what's stopping some lunatic just going over and dropping something in
Yeah,
there?
you'd be a no-fly zone, but it'd be controlled by military aircraft like helicopters and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which would be able to bring people. But I know you can still there'll be Americans that go to Baghdad for whatever reason, for contractors or,
Yeah.
in the civil service and stuff, which go over there, which sometimes is like hotels where you can stay.
Yeah.
I know loads of people that used to stay at different embassies, especially like the Swedish embassy.
Yeah.
When Swedes used to travel, they used to go to certain places and they say, "Oh, I'm staying at the embassy."
Yeah, I've only ever been to the British Embassy in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I've been to the British embassy there. We went together there, didn't we?
Yeah.
I've been to the Swedish embassy in Bahrain, and I've been to the British embassy in Bahrain as well.
Right.
In fact, for safety reasons, American diplomats aren't allowed to fly commercial into Iraq, so right by the airport, there's this place called the Baghdad Diplomatic Support Center, which, among other things, provide planes and copters to get people into and around the country. And by the way, if the US Embassy's fortifications weren't enough, recall that the whole compound is located in Iraq's international zone, better known as the Green Zone, namesake of a Matt Damon movie that I refused to see because he didn't buy a zoo. Anyway, the Green Zone is a 4-ish square mile, or 10-ish square kilometer, or 24-ish Magic Kingdom area in Baghdad that is home to the Iraqi government, the US Embassy, and this big clock, among other things. It's long symbolized power in Iraq, and since 2003, it's symbolized American power. Around the time of the invasion,
I also bet there's other embassies in that same area.
You think
I bet
so?
there's most embassies
I
would
was
be in
gonna
that
say they
same
all seem
area.
to- yeah, in Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi they all seem to used to
Yeah, I
be
bet
in
the
same
British
area.
embassy's in that same green zone.
Yeah.
The US set up a security perimeter around the entire zone, employing bomb-sniffing dogs for anyone who entered, putting up blast walls, demanding a special card to enter, and while those measures have eased in the 20-ish years since they were put in place, the Green Zone is still a wealthy, almost otherworldly enclave that the public couldn't even access until 2018. Today, the checkpoints around the area are open to cars, but not trucks, from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., in large part to ease that terrible Baghdad traffic everyone's talking about. All this to say, not only is the US Embassy compound in Baghdad a massive and insanely fortified area, it's within another massive and insanely fortified area. And look, it's not for no reason. The embassy's been the target of multiple attacks, including one seemingly aimed at its utilities, so I see where this stuff comes from. I just don't get what would make this place worth attacking, let alone defending, because once again, all that land, all that money, no Space Mountain. Why bother? So, the Baghdad Embassy compound has all this in place to protect their soccer field and whatever, but what about you? Sure, you might not have a power plant to protect, but what about, I don't know, your data? Is it secure? Well, it can be, thanks to this video sponsor, Actors Online. People are blown up with spam calls or someone takes out a big loan in your name, but against all odds, you actually can fight back. You have the right to make. You have to file a request every time they get your info.
It might just be all what's it now leading to the end of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting how these embassies work. Like I say, I've been in embassies, and I know when you go in some of them, you're like, it's tough. You got to be in your passport. Yeah, even when I went into the British embassy, if you remember, took our passports with us, and it was kind of like real, like handing a passport over. I was like, am I going to get that back?
Yeah.
You know, like you feel like you weren't in the British embassy.
Yeah, and also
you know?
a lot of phones you're not allowed to take in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think I've been to the Saudi embassy as well.
Right.
Yeah, I had to get a visa,
Yeah.
so I had to go in the Saudi, and that was one way you had to leave your phone at the door and all that. But it was like throw it in a box, and it was like a load of other phones in the box. I'm like, I'm not sure about this, mate. I'm like looking at him, he's
someone
like,
else thinks that's a better one.
Yeah. Oh, in the Indian embassy.
Right.
I've been to an Indian embassy, but just for visa purposes.
What was that play? I don't know if you came in Holland. I went with Lisa. It was an American.
Oh, that's the Coast Guard.
Right.
Yeah, it's the US Coast Guard.
Yeah.
That's their I don't know if it's called barracks, but
yeah, it was like
same
that
sort of thing.
club.
That was there. Yeah.
They had a shop there. You could buy all American food.
Yeah, it was a what do they call it? A base, Coast Guard base.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that's what it was. It was the American Coast Guard. That.
Yeah.
It was good. That interesting.
Yeah,
Quite
great.
like that. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Cheers.